Anyone there? You see me, human?
That's it.
A noise? What? Who's there? Pay for that.
Won't be able to hack this. Got it. There we go. Nice.
Hostiles may be in area. Non-combatants are advised to seek secure location.
I can't talk right now. I have a lot on my mind.
Remarkable work, Knight. The signal interceptor appears to be complete. Are you ready to put it to the test?
Absolutely. I'm ready to go.
Your confidence is an inspiration to us all. That being said, this is the first time we've attempted to directly adapt Institute technology. When we throw that switch, we don't know exactly what's gonna happen. God willing, you'll end up inside the Institute, and the mission can continue.
Nothing's gonna stop me when I'm so close to the answers I'm looking for.
Eager to get inside, huh? Good. Now, I want you to listen very carefully. Once you've entered the Institute, we expect to lose contact, so it's imperative you remember everything I'm about to tell you. About 10 years ago, the Brotherhood began recruiting civilian scientists from the Capital Wasteland to assist with various projects. During this process, we were able to obtain the services of Dr. Madison Lee, a noted mind in the field of nuclear engineering.
That's fortunate.
Yes, it was. Securing useful resources during wartime is critical. That said, Dr. Lee's contributions to our cause were instrumental in maintaining order in the Capital Wasteland. After some time, she developed differences with the Brotherhood and exiled herself to the Commonwealth. We're fairly certain that her intent was to make contact with the Institute.
I'm surprised that the Brotherhood let her go.
Had I been in command, I wouldn't have allowed it to happen. She was a valuable asset. Your mission is simple. Once you're inside the Institute, we want you to track down Dr. Lee's whereabouts. If you find out that she's still alive, make contact with her and convince her to return to the Brotherhood of Steel. There's a special project we're working on, and it needs her attention.
Consider it done, Elder.
Very good. Very good. Listen to me, Knight. I'm well aware that you're risking your life going into the Institute blind. Just keep your mind on the mission, and don't let anything they say sway you from your duty. Good luck.
I've checked and rechecked everything. I think the signal interceptor's ready to go. Are you?
Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform and we'll see if I can find a signal to lock onto. Are you in or are you out? Make up your mind. Let's see. Relays dialed in. Beam emitters warmed up. Everything looks green. Let me start scanning for the signal. Cross your fingers. I'm inputting the code now. Wow, there's a heck of a lot of interference and ghosting. It's gonna take a minute or two to lock in. By the way, this little trip you're taking is a heck of an opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. I put a clever little program on this holotape that'll scan their network and download anything it finds. If you place it in any terminal down there, it'll do the rest. Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make sense of whatever it found. Well, well, looks like we have a winner. RF wave capture complete. Ramping the emitter. 60%, 80%. Emitter spiking but steady. All that's left is to throw the transmit switch. Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. Stay safe, soldier.
I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Sean, where is everyone?
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
What's going on? Father? Father!
What do you want me to do, Sean? What can I do?
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Who is Father? Where is he?
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Give me Sean. The real Sean. Right now!
I know. I know. You've gone to such lengths to find him.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been... It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality, and here I am. Raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
They stole you. Kidnapped you. Wasn't right.
Right, wrong, irrelevant. It was necessary. The Institute believed humanity's future depended on it. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
He was a murderer. He killed your mother.
Believe me, I am well aware of the atrocities Kellogg committed. I suspect there are many more we'll never know of. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
I think I've heard enough for now.
Very well. The Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
You want me to stay here? In the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
Your institute has done some horrible things.
Yes, well, the world is not what it used to be. What about the people you've aided in order to get here? What atrocities have they committed? The Brotherhood of Steel. They believe they're the only ones fit to control technology and destroy anyone who opposes them. And you would side with them. None have any true claim to nobility in this world. Those days are gone. But we are not the monsters we have been cast at. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
I'm sorry. I can't do that.
I'm sorry to hear that. I had certainly hoped we could work together. But every man must make his own decisions. If you choose to leave, I cannot force you to stay. Understand, though, that I cannot allow you to remain within the Institute. You may have safe passage back to the relay, where you will be sent back to the surface. But from that point, you must be considered hostile. I am sorry. I must think first of the safety of the Institute. And in the cruel world that has developed, those who are not with us are against us. The elevator will return you to the relay.
For ammunition for weapon mods. Dr. Deegan might have one.
If it was up to me, I'd take every barrel, mutie, and
Here's your holotape, Proctor.
shoot them into
Hope the
space.
data on that thing was worth it.
Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in one piece. I wasn't sure what the Interceptor would do to you.
I wasn't worried. After all, I built the device myself.
I have confidence in everything I built too. But that's because I'll only deal with technology that I understand. Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'll get this holotape to Proctor Quinlan. I'm dying to find out what's on it.
Hopefully, it'll reveal a weakness in their defenses.
That would be the best case scenario. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what Quinlan's scribes can get off of it. I'm sure the Institute has all of their data heavily encrypted, so it's gonna take some time to crack. After that, we'll have to see what we've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe. In the meantime, your mission to recruit Dr. Lee still needs to be completed. I believe Elder Maxson gave you all of the details? Good luck, Knight.
When I get off duty, that Salisbury steak
Elder.
Lancer Captain Kells has informed me that the Institute's on high alert, and you're to blame. Explain yourself, Knight.
I didn't realize it would make you so angry.
Didn't realize.
My apologies, Elder.
Apologies are meaningless. Brotherhood soldiers take responsibility for their actions and move on. I expect no less out of you. Fortunately, this incident doesn't change our current strategy. We have a contingency plan that's already being put into effect that should ensure completion of our special project. Now, on to other matters. Thanks to the success of your reconnaissance efforts, it's time to advance our operations to the next phase. I want you to report to Proctor Ingram at the airport. She has a special project that requires your immediate attention. And Knight, don't disappoint me again. Dismissed.
With your reconnoiter of the Institute.
Lancer Captain Kells is one of the finest officers I've ever had the pleasure of serving.
So, I bet you're eager to get your hands dirty on our new project. How much has Maxon told you about it?
Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll help us crush the Institute.
It will, but we've got a lot of work ahead of us first. Come on, it's this way. Unless you're blind as a bat, I'm sure you've noticed that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance when we go toe-to-toe with the Institute. Now, the Prydwen might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in. This storage bay full of parts is what's left of Liberty Prime. The Brotherhood used it in the Capital Wasteland as a weapon against the Enclave. It's the most advanced robot the Brotherhood has ever had at its disposal. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing him back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded.
Excuse me, Proctor Ingram.
Prime fully operational, we're going to need your help.
No problem. I'm sure this only looks worse than it actually is.
Huh. I wish I had your confidence, because this is not going to be easy. Now, the good news is that we've got most of Prime's parts fully assembled. The bad news is that it's going to take more than a few rivets and some spot welding to get them working again. The first problem is his CPU. It's fragile, and every time we try to feed power to it, it blows itself out.
There's gotta be a way to solve that.
I do all the maintenance on the Prydwen, so you'd think it'd be a snap. As much as I hate to admit it, Prime's power systems are out of my league. What we need is a robotics expert, and there's someone in Diamond City that fits the bill. Her name's Professor Skara. Locals say she's a wizard when it comes to fixing robots. Why don't you head over there and see if you can talk her into helping us? Oh, and take this with you. Once she sees one of those Cerebro fusion adapters, I'm pretty sure she'll have a tough time saying no. In the meantime, I'll prep Prime's CPU and we'll see if we can't get the big guy moving.
I hear you've been asking questions around town. What? Diamond City's got 2 private digs in it?
You know, a shotgun's great insurance against raiders, but I got a lot of options here.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Feel free to test the grips. Thank you. It's like I can finally think straight.
Sorry to let you down, but I'm afraid I'm not in the mood to teach biology lessons today.
If something's wrong, maybe I can help.
It's my colleague, Professor Skara. Her normal field expeditions never last more than a few days, but it's been over a week now. I'm afraid something terrible has happened to her.
Don't worry, I'll find her.
Oh, that would be wonderful. The last place Professor Skara said she was going is the General Atomics Galleria. I'll mark it on your mapping device. There. Look, if you find her, could you tell her to come home?
Hey, Dr. Duff.
I'd really prefer to be alone right now. Sorry.
Why are you bothering with that junk?
Sanctuary. I knew you'd join us here, kid. Your energy is tied to this place.
What's up?
this way and I'll get you all set up. Here to roll, just $5,000 a game.
Do you take caps?
Bottle caps? Of course not. Legal tender only.
Do you mind if I just take a look around?
I'm sorry, only paying customers.
$5,000? That's ridiculous.
Poverty is never something to feel ashamed of.
Mm-hmm.
Stop! Stop! You hear me coming? Now I am to fight. Thought much. Nothing there after all.
Excuse me, but this is a private research site. If you're here to study these robots, I'll have to insist you relocate to somewhere else.
Actually, I was looking for you.
Oh, well, that puts an entirely different spin on everything, doesn't it? My name's Professor Skara, and in answer to what I expect to be your next question, Professor is my first name, not my title. The whole thing's rather complicated. Perhaps I'll explain it to you sometime. So, now that I've formally introduced myself, perhaps you'd care to tell me why you're here.
I've been sent by the Brotherhood of Steel to ask for your help.
How very interesting. I wasn't aware that you people ever asked for anything. While I'm flattered that the Brotherhood of Steel would find me useful, I can't help but be wary of your methods and motivations. Perhaps if you were more specific, we could come to some kind of a mutual understanding.
We need your expertise to get Liberty Prime back online.
Liberty Prime? Where have I heard that before? Oh, yes. I believe it's some kind of an enormous robot. Intriguing as it sounds, I'm afraid my work at General Atomics isn't complete. Perhaps you could come back another time.
Maybe this'll change your mind.
Intriguing. So, your technicians must use these to calibrate Liberty Prime's internal power system. It's quite an ingenious little device, but it could use some work. All right, you've got a deal. I'll wrap up my collecting trip and meet you at your headquarters. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a few loose ends to tie up before I leave.
Once we decrypt that intel you recovered from the Institute, we'll know a lot more about them.
Proctor.
Well, things are off to a good start. Isn't that right, Professor?
You call this a good start? This poor thing's memory core was completely corrupted. Haven't you people ever heard of inertial dampeners? Titanium shock casing? It won't be easy, but I should be able to make a few modifications and get his basic functions online. If you can keep your inept scribes from slowing me down.
Charming, isn't she?
Sorry about that, Ingram.
Don't worry about it. We might be butting heads on a few issues, but I've dealt with worse. Besides, Skara's worth all the aggravation. I've never seen someone so proficient with Prime's power systems. She's already saved us weeks, maybe months of work. In fact, we're ready for you to start building his electromagnetic actuators.
Sure, anything you need.
That's what I love about you. You're ready to leap into action, and I bet you don't have the faintest idea what I'm talking about. The actuators are what allows Liberty Prime's arms and legs to move. Prime's new limbs are way too heavy for the simple hydraulic pistons he had in the past. We're gonna have to rip those out, construct a brand new system using electromagnets, and install them in his limbs. What we need you to do is build the actuators for us.
All right, Ingram. Enough with the school lessons. Here's a list of materials you'll need, and the plans to make the actuators.
Now, before you get that look on your face, you'll be happy to know that we have plenty of the raw materials on that list right here at the airport. The only thing we need you to head out and find is a high-powered magnet. According to Proctor Quinlan, the best place to find one is in any of the ruined hospitals around the Commonwealth. We've already sent out a few teams to find the rest of the high-powered magnets you'll need. They should be back by the time you return.
Once you start building the actuators, we need one for each limb, so you'll need to make a total of 4. Good luck.
If you find any technical documents, you should bring them to Proctor Quinlan for analysis.
Officers down, need assistance.